Hello, everyone, and welcome to race number 26 of 29 here in the 1990 Throwbacks. And after a quick DNF last week, Bill Elliott has lost the points lead to Alan Kulwicki as this continues to be an exciting points battle, which probably should come all the way down to the end. With all the other DNFs that happened, these two are pretty much the only two still left in the championship hunt. Richmond, Bodine, Rudd, and Irvin are all 250 or so points out. Mark Martin is 350. Everyone else is 400 plus points out. We go now to the Mello Yello 500 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for what should be quite the awesome race. The last time we came here to Charlotte was, of course, the Coca-Cola 600. Ernie Irvin picked up his first career win at this track earlier on this year, and that was a big surprise to everybody. He was able to beat out Dale Earnhardt, a much faster Dale Earnhardt, based on a much better pitch strategy. And who's on the pole? Mark Martin will be on the pole for today's race. That's a name that we haven't seen in the poll for quite a while. Mark Martin has 2 wins on the season, both of them at restrictor plate racetracks. He won at Talladega and he won at Daytona. So Mark Martin, he's on pole. Bill Elliott, second in points. He will roll off position number 2. Tim Richmond, third. Davey Allison, fourth. Dale Earnhardt, fifth. Points leader Alan Kulwicki will roll off in 6th. Kyle Petty, who's had a very strong showing here to end the season, he'll roll off in 7th. Jeff Bodine in 8th. Darrell Waltrip in 9th. And Terry Labonte will round out the top 10 in qualifying positions. Here's your command for the Mello Yello 500.
Drivers, start your engines.
The engines have fired. The command has been given. The cars will now roll off for a little bit of a warm-up around this 1.5 mile D-shaped facility. Quad oval shaped facility, I should say, but still kind of D-shaped, quad oval, whatever. Anyways, pace car will enter pit road. Cars are coming down to the line. And we have 84 laps of action today. The green flag is out here from Charlotte. And it looks like they're already going to try taking it 3 wide into turn number 1 as Davey Allison looked to the outside. You are allowed to pass on the outside before coming to the line, but I think that's only on restarts. You can't do it on the start of the race. We'll have to see how NASCAR rules that move by Allison. But it looks like Mark Martin's going to jump out to a quick and early lead. Tim Richmond following the 2nd, Elliott 3rd, and Allison 4th. And the fastest car of the race last year, Dale Earnhardt, he's trying to hold on to 5th. But Alan Kulwicki's trying to get around for 5th. Allison is now underneath Elliott. Elliott trying to hold on to that position. Looks like Earnhardt's not going to be able to clear the 7. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. Mark Martin in the 6. Tim Richmond in the 25. Who's going to win between these two? Right now, it looks like Mark's got the upper hand. Allison's able to get around Elliott. Earnhardt's able to get around Elliott. Now here comes Kulwicki to get around Elliott. Elliott's really got to find the bottom of the track quickly here. I don't think Waltrip's going to let him in. But he did. He let him in. So now Elliott's going to be right behind the 7 car, coming off of turn 4 here. And now we're looking here at the number 4 Oldsmobile. They'll be switching over to Chevrolet for 1991. We don't have a ton of news for the 1991 season. However, what news we do have is a little bit critical in some of the field filling teams anyways. The DK Ulrich team, of course, they're currently in the number 2 car. They will be switching over to the number 55 for the 1991 season, and they will be signing on a rookie driver in the form of Ted Musgrave to drive in 1991. And that makes you wonder, well, now Larry Pearson's out of a ride. Where's Larry Pearson going to go? Well, it turns out that there is a new owner trying to take the helms here. Larry Hendrick Motorsports in the number 41 will be a new team next year, and they will have Larry Pearson to drive their car. Meanwhile, Davey Allison has gone around Tim Richmond for second, and he has quickly reeled in the 6th car here, trying to go for the lead. It seems like this 28 team, they've been getting better and better and better every single week, and now here comes Davey Allison diving down to the bottom of Mark Martin. Davey Allison will take the lead here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And that's huge. Meanwhile, Elliott continues to struggle. Elliott really struggling right now. Everybody was saying that Elliott's probably the favorite to finish better between him and Kulwicki. This has not been the case. Elliott has really struggled early on in this race. Yeah, he's getting passed left and right. Meanwhile, Alan Kulwicki, he's currently holding his own in the 4th position. Davey Allison is currently in the lead. How long can he keep that lead? However, here comes Dale Earnhardt, the 3-time champion of the series. He's looking to get his 2nd win of the year. He has not won since Rockingham. Rockingham. If you can believe that, that's the last time. Was it Rockingham? I'm pretty sure it was Rockingham. That's the last time that Dale Earnhardt has won a race. Only 1 win on this season. Meanwhile, Alan Kulwicki, he improves to 3rd. Bill Elliott gets shuffled outside of the top 10. Battle for the lead continues to heat up. Earnhardt is there. Allison trying to fight him off. Again, this 28 team, like it was just said, they've been getting better and better, slowly but surely, throughout the 1990 season. And I really think that this team is starting to figure things out. And I'm looking for this 28 team to be a very strong contender. Maybe not necessarily for a championship, but definitely a strong contender for a few wins in 1991. Of course, that depends entirely on if Davey Allison can reel in some inconsistency issues. Allison has not won a race since 1987. Earnhardt down to the inside. He was the fastest car in the spring for the Coca-Cola 600. He was the fastest driver. His team just got outsmarted. And now Earnhardt to the point. Look who's right behind him. Points leader Alan Kulwicki. Trying to pull off one of the greatest owner-driver seasons in NASCAR history. Well, he's already done that. To talk about what this team has accomplished this year is very incredible. They've sniped a lot of wins away, including last week at North Wilkesboro, as Kulwicki's now taking the lead. They've sniped a lot of wins away. Only one time this entire year, even though Alan Kulwicki has 6 wins, only one of those wins came where Kulwicki led the most laps. In fact, all but 3 of them Two of them. Two of them. Yeah. Had less than 15 laps led in them. But Alan Kulwicki, he's out in front now, and he is smooth sailing. Meanwhile, in the 11th position, if you can believe that, Bill Elliott. And he's under attack from Tim Richmond. He might be falling back to 12th. Elliott, very strong qualifying run. If you can believe this, Bill Elliott, 16th fastest. He is falling through the field very quickly. It's crazy to think. Meanwhile, here comes Bodine down to the inside of Waltrip, maybe, maybe not. Jeff Bodine has had a hell of a resurgence here of late. Coming to this 11 team has really helped Jeff Bodine out. It's been very beneficial to him. Although he's only won the one race this year, the Martinsville race, he's been consistently up with the championship points leaders until he slumped a little bit in a few races. But then he immediately came back, won Martinsville, finished 4th last week at North Wilkesboro when he probably had a car to win the race. Unfortunately, a bad pit stop took him out of contention. And now all of a sudden, take a look at this. You want to talk about a couple of young, very talented drivers. Here you go, up at the front, Alan Kulwicki, Davey Allison battling for the lead here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's going to be one of those races where I don't think a single driver is going to dominate. Coming to the line, your choice as to who led that lap. You could probably ask about 5 different scorers, and they will not agree. That will definitely be a split decision. How did NASCAR score that one? They were going to say that Alan Kulwicki led that lap by a millisecond. So give that lap to Alan Kulwicki. Meanwhile, Davey Allison back at the point. I don't feel like anybody's really been able to get out in front, but we take a look at the fastest lap charts. Look who's at the top. Number 28, Davey Allison. It's been a very long time for this team, and if they can get off the shelf and finally get a win, that will go a long way towards 1991. I'll tell you who is not in the top 10 in the fastest lap columns, but somebody that is in the top 5. Ernie Irvin in the number 4 machine here. He's been slowly working his way through the field. Here he is. He's up in a 4th. He might try to overtake Alan Kulwicki here. That might be able to get him up into the 3rd position. Doesn't look like Irvin was able to speed up, however. And everyone goes back single file. So Elliott continues to have a difficult time with his car. He's hoping that it starts to come back to him later on in this race. And he better hope, because right now, Alan Kulwicki, he's set to gain another 30 or 40 points on Elliott if it ends this way it is. And the fact that Kulwicki's already 45 points ahead, he gets that point lead out to 70, 80 points. 3 races to go after this. It's going to be real difficult to reel him in. This has just been a magic season for this 7 team. Came in as the underdog, and they have used some really, really crafty strategies this year. To be honest, this year they've only won a single race on speed alone. Every single other time, they've won it on strategy. Honest to goodness, they've won it on strategy. And if you play the strategic game right, you can win a ton of races. And that is something that Kulwicki has shown this season. They are really at the cutting edge of NASCAR analytics. Of course, Kulwicki with the engineering degree in his own right. He knows how to build his race cars exactly the way he wants them. And he truly is the captain of his crew, being the owner driver, always pushing his crew to perform at 110% every single race. And man, has this paid off. It might pay off in the form of a championship come Atlanta. Meanwhile, Elliott is still trying to maneuver through this field. And we got a battle for the lead once again. Here comes Alan down to the inside of Davey Allison. Is Earnhardt going to try to make it 3 wide? Earnhardt was there. He was thinking about making it 3 wide going into turn 3. He thought better of it. New leader number 7. So it seems like somebody gets out to the lead for a certain period of time and then they end up getting ran down. We'll see how long this 7 keeps the lead. I gotta tell you, that 28 car is really fast. Boy, Davey Allison, Robert Yates, they have really brought a fast car to the racetrack today. Don't count out that 14. Oh yeah, don't count them out either. Here comes Earnhardt down to the bottom of Allison. Earnhardt's going to be able to get by. Three wide. Oh, we got cars coming down pit road. Leader coming into the pits. Is that going to be an appropriate time to pit? Let's see here. 27, 54. No. With that pit strategy, they're going to be 3 laps short. This is the lap to pit. 28, 56. Yeah, this is the lap to pit here. Lap 28. I think Kulwicki and them pit a lap too early. Now, here comes everyone coming down pit road. No surprises here. Now, Kulwicki should enter out on the track as the leader. He's going to have the fresh tires. There's Wallace, Waltrip, Parsons, Schrader, Jeff Bodine. Jeff Bodine really not having a good stop there. Morgan Shepherd. Bill Elliott continuing to struggle. So all those people pit with Kulwicki. If anything, I think Kulwicki had a really bad stop. Remember, it doesn't really matter where anyone else finishes. The only thing that matters to Alan is how many positions in front of Elliott he finishes. And right now, he's in front of Elliott. And look who's going to come out in first in this pack. It's going to be the 4 car. It's Irvin. So Ernie Irvin's going to lead the 2nd pack out of the pits. Once again. So not a bad stop with the 17, but maybe a bad strategy. I don't think they're gonna be able to make it on that strategy, because they'll stop again at around 56, at 54, but then you gotta make it 30 laps, but you're planning to make 27. Meanwhile, 28, 28, 28, bang, that's perfect, right on 84. There's going to be no problems for anybody that pit on lap 28 or after, but here for 27. If you can only make it to lap 27 before you have to come down pit road, it's going to be a really, really long day for you. We'll see if that comes into a factor later on in this race. But right now, Alan Kulwicki is out front, and he is, well, right now, the man to beat. Meanwhile, further back, here's the battle for the 5th position. Phil Parsons, who's had a really, I have to say, a really solid 1990 season. He's coming back on for 1991, and yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't come back on for 1991. He's done a really good job with this car, this team. They're really proud of it. They haven't necessarily been up front trying to win any races, but they feel like that they've got a solid program and a solid car, solid driver. They're just outside the top 10 in points, so they got to be very happy with their performance this season. And no doubt in Phil Parsons, if he can secure himself another top 5 here, that'll probably secure his ride through 92. Seriously, this team has done a really good job, and like this team's, they know that they're not going to compete for a title. They know that they're not going to go out there and compete for a championship, so they're really, really realistic with their goals. And right now, Phil Parsons, 12th in championship points. They know what they need to do to improve, and I'm sure they will heading into 1991. Meanwhile, up front, Alan Kulwicki's gotten past. Rusty Wallace is your leader. And the up and down season for Rusty Wallace continues. Some fun facts about the 1990 season for Rusty Wallace. He has the 2nd most wins out of any driver. He has 5. Alan Kulwicki has 6. He has the most laps led out of any driver. He's led in the most races out of any driver. He is 9th in the points. Rusty Wallace has had the definition of an up and down season. If he's not in the top 3, he's down in the bottom 30. And, you know, you're not going to win a championship when you have that kind of inconsistency. And maybe the new ownership with Roger Penske is really going to shake this team up. And I would not doubt it if these guys are right back in the championship hunt for 1991. They were so close in 1998. They were so good. 7 wins, 20 top 10s. They knew what they were doing. They were just outclassed by 2 of the best in the business when you're talking about Tim Richmond and Dale Earnhardt. I mean, they were at their peak that year. You weren't going to beat them. Meanwhile, last year, of course, Wallace had that horrifying wreck at Rockingham, flipping over several times and then getting hit. He would end up slowly recovering throughout the entire 1989 season, so they were really hoping, okay, fresh, clean, Rusty Wallace, here we go, 1990, and man, the inconsistency bug has really hit this team. Meanwhile, the winner of the Coca-Cola 600 is now out in front, Ernie Irvan. 2 wins this season. As I've already said, the Coke 600, but he was also able to pick up a win at Michigan. Has the fastest lap time chart changed? Nope. Allison is still the fastest car on the track. Here's Davey Allison. He's currently in the 7th position, trying to work his way through some slower cars. I don't know how many times you could say that Darrell Waltrip is a slower car. I mean, good Lord, he's won 3 championships in his career, 81, 82, 85. You cannot deny that Darrell Waltrip's one of the greatest drivers in NASCAR history. You take a look at his career. 75 career wins. How many drivers have done that? Not many. Not many drivers have gotten 75 wins in their career. So, it is no tall task. I don't care what Waltrip's driving. He could be driving a bicycle around this track, and I guarantee you he'll still be difficult to pass. Anyways, lap traffic, 3 wide. This is always where this race gets interesting. Once lap traffic gets involved, this race usually cranks up yet another notch. Because now you got 2 battles for position going on here, and you can see Kulwicki's boxed in. Wallace is going to take advantage. He's on your quarter panel there, Kulwicki. Don't come down. Look at the move by Wallace. Man. Wallace trying to leave absolutely no prisoners on the track. Meanwhile, Allison underneath the 17 of Waltrip. There I go again, confusing Wallace and Waltrip. How many times have I done that over the years? Come on. Ain't gonna get any easier because Michael Waltrip isn't going anywhere. Is he gonna compete though? Yeah. They do have a new sponsor coming on for 1991. Yeah, this is true. The Bahari Racing Team, Michael Waltrip, they're supposedly gonna have a new sponsor for 1991. Same thing with the team ran by Felix Sabates, Kyle Petty. They're supposed to have a new sponsor come on. It looks like Davey Allison was unsuccessful in getting around Darrell Waltrip. Meanwhile, we see another battle going on here. This is for the 4th position between Dale Earnhardt and Terry Labonte. We've already said what's going to be going on with Terry Labonte. Ken Schrader is going to be moving over to the 5 team. Darrell Waltrip will be running an owner-driver gig in the 17 car 1991, but he's still going to be helped by Hendrick. And Terry Labonte is going to be going over to old owner Billy Hagan, where they almost won a championship in 1984, and he also had several good seasons in the number 44 team. Only that team is now the number 94 team. So Terry Labonte hoping to reclaim some success over there. Yeah, this trade that happened, he knew that he only had 1 year on his contract left. So you got to be going somewhere, and he wasn't entirely satisfied with what happened this year. He came in with the mindset of basically title or bust, and he has not been anywhere near the championship contention all year long. Meanwhile, the driver that he got traded for, Jeff Bodine, has been. So he's like, okay, this is not working. I'm going elsewhere. And that is what Terry Labonte has decided to do. So Terry Labonte, he'll move up into the 4th position. He does have 2 wins on the season, including winning the Southern 500, and that's not an asterisk win. Yep, you got to win at Atlanta and got to win at Darlington. So those are not easy tracks to get wins at, and Terry Labonte definitely showing his experience at both of those tracks. Really pulled through. Of course, you take a look here at Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt. Both of those drivers were in the same rookie class in 1979. Earnhardt got a lot more success than Terry Labonte, I think you would be able to say. Earnhardt picking up his first championship with Rod Osterland the very next year in '80. He would have to wait a little bit to get his next championship, come over to his third team. After having a little stint with Bud Moore, he would come over to a new team in '84 with Richard Childress. They would pick up 5 wins that season, but they really wouldn't do anything. And then they'd go winless in '85, and people were really starting to question what's happened with Dale Earnhardt, because he really disappeared between 1981 and 1985. '86, don't worry, he came back, 8 wins, championship. And then '87, he was right in the hunt for the championship, trying to go against arch rival Tim Richmond. Richmond just was too good for him that year, though, as Richmond was able to take the crown. And then 1988, we had that amazing championship battle between Earnhardt, Richmond, Elliott, and Wallace, which Earnhardt came out on top with 8 wins. So in a 3-year stretch, he got 2 championships and a second place finish. And then last year, 1989, he got 3rd. So everyone was expecting, okay, Earnhardt's probably going to come back this season, get this championship. It has not happened. A very underwhelming championship season thus far for Earnhardt. Currently 7th in the points. He is definitely trying to improve that today. But Terry Labonte's gotten around him. And Labonte, I don't think, is slowing down. He's going to try to run down Rusty Wallace here. Labonte wants the 2nd position. Terry Labonte is undoubtedly one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. Trying to reel in this 27 machine. Your leader right now is Ernie Irvan here on lap 54, and as I stated earlier, we probably should see another round of pit stops coming up. For the people that pitted on lap 27, their window for pitting is open now. And here they come. The 7 and the 27 are coming in. Irvin's still the leader. And he should be able to keep this lead. He's going to stretch it out a little bit. Oh, no doubt. Irvin's going to stretch this one out a little bit. He should go to 56. We'll see if there's any takers for the lead here on 55. Earnhardt's going to come in this lap. Looks like Waltrip and Bodine are also going to come in this lap. And this should be the lap where we see everyone else come in. Irvin's going to come in. Now, those people that pit on lap 55, they got to make it 29 laps. Now, here, these guys pitting on lap 56, they got to make it 28. That shouldn't be an issue. Should be no problems on pit road. Meanwhile, here's the people. The leader of all the people that pit on lap 56, Rusty Wallace, will now follow him around the track. You can see some of the cars merging. There is Earnhardt. He led all the people coming down on lap 55. And now here comes all the people that ended up hitting a lap 56. We'll see how they come out with respect to Rusty Wallace. If Wallace had a bang-up pit job going, he should come out as the leader. He had those 2 extra laps on fresh tires. We'll see if that is the case or not. There's the 5. Ernie Irvan's still way up here, though. He's looking to be the first person in Throwbacks history to sweep the Charlotte races in a year. No one's ever done that in the Throwbacks before. Not Earnhardt, not Allison, not Ricky Rudd, not Elliott. Nobody has done that. And I tell you, over the past few years, we've had some incredible battles for points here in the throwbacks, and it looks like this year, I don't think it's really going to change much, because here's Kulwicki, he's in 5th. So Kulwicki's been slowly falling back. Elliott, meanwhile, has been slowly getting better. Now, he is about to pass Derek Cope in the 10 car. That'll be for the 10th position. So this is the first time that Elliott's going to be able to get inside of the top 10 all race long, since he fell out of it. He's going to have to keep Jeff Bodine behind him. Elliott just has not unloaded very fast, and if he can come within just a few positions of Kulwicki, I'm pretty sure he'll be counting his lucky stars. Meanwhile, battle for 3rd. Earnhardt, Labonte. Looks like Earnhardt's taken off a little bit, however. So Earnhardt's got a good jump. He's getting around the lap traffic better. So Earnhardt very clearly doing better there. So instead, we'll watch the battle for 6th between two of the older drivers in NASCAR. Morgan Shepherd in the 15, Darrell Waltrip in the 17, and of course, the young one, Davey Allison in the 28. Allison's got a really strong car. We all know that. He's still got the fastest lap out of anyone on the board, 176.6 miles an hour. Flying around this course. This battle has not ended either between Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt for the 3rd position. So I don't think that's gone anywhere. Laps are winding down, and look who's coming. Elliott was able to get around Phil Parsons there. That puts Elliott up into 9th. Has Elliott finally found the tune that makes the car work? Take a look at the fastest lap charts. Take a look at who's 5th now. Elliott is finally dialed in. So he had a really bad setup to start off, obviously. He was not good at the drop of the green flag. Dropped all the way back as far as 14th position. 16th fastest out of all the drivers. He was just terrible. But now, Elliott has clearly found his pacing. Meanwhile, what you're watching here is the battle for 7th. Morgan Shepherd in the 15, red and white. Davey Allison, gold and black, 28. Your leader of this race right now is Ernie Irvin, 20 laps to go here in the Mello Yello 500. Irvin leads, Rusty Wallace being 2nd, Dale Earnhardt 3rd, Terry Labonte 4th. Alan Kulwicki is your points leader, he's in 5th. Darrell Waltrip 6th, Morgan Shepherd 7th, Davey Allison in 8th, Bill Elliott 9th, Phil Parsons in 10th. If you really want, if there's a team that really deserves a shout out today, I'm going to probably give it to this 19 team right now. Chad Little, this is practically an owner-driver ride. His dad owns this car. And these guys have had an impressive showing all day long. They've been inside the top 15 pretty much all day long. And they've really put on a stellar performance for everyone throughout the entire season. They've been around 25th in points. And here they are inside the top 15 at one of the more difficult tracks on the NASCAR circuit. Meanwhile, as something happened to the 27 car, Rusty Wallace has really fallen off the pace. Yeah, Earnhardt blew right by him. Terry Labonte's blown right by him. I'm really not certain what has gone on with the 27 machine. Now he's back up to pace, so I'm not 100% certain what's happened, but Rusty Wallace went from 1.5 seconds behind the leader to over 4 seconds behind the leader. And he actually looks like he's dropping still. At lap time, 174 by Labonte, 173 by Wallace. So Wallace is running 1.5 miles slower than everyone around him. So there is definitely something wrong on the 27 machine. Again. The triumph and tragedy season continues for Rusty Wallace. Meanwhile, Elliott maneuvering through lap traffic here. Elliott has pretty much one goal, and he can see it in front of him, even though he's about 2.5 seconds out. He wants to get up to that 28, the 15, the 17, but most importantly, he wants to get to that 7 car. He doesn't want Alan Kulwicki to pull away any further than he already has. You got to keep in mind here that Alan Kulwicki's gotten 5 bonus points for leading a lap today. So he's slated, if the race were to end now, to gain 22 points on Bill Elliott. That'll make the points lead 67 coming out of this race. So as of right now, if the race were to end right now, Alan Kulwicki gains 22 points on Elliott. But I don't think that Alan Kulwicki's car is running so hot either. Yeah, I think both him and Wallace are conserving very hard, trying to make it to the end of this race, and that's probably why they've backed off. Remember that they've pitted on lap 27 and 54. That means that they got to go 30 whole laps around this track without running out of fuel. So both Wallace and Kulwicki are conserving hard right now, just trying to make it to the end. Battle for second. Well, this is only good news for Ernie Irvan. He's pulled out to a 4.5 second lead. Irvan trying to be the first person in Throwbacks history to win both Charlotte races in the same year. There he is. There's your leader, Ernie Irvan, the number 4 Kodak Oldsmobile. Are they sure they really want to switch to Chevrolet for 1991? They got 3 wins in this season. It's the first time that this team's ever won. So, do they really want to switch back to Chevrolet? And we'll see what happens. I just don't get it. You got a team that's probably going to win 3 races this year. You're just going to throw that all away? Come on. Now, if Elliott could get around Morgan Shepherd here, that will cut the points gap from 67 to 63. There he goes. Elliott's gone around. The points gap is now 63 points. And again, 63 because Alan Kulwicki had led a lap earlier on in this race. He's not going to lead the most laps. That's going to go to Irvan. What a comeback here by Bill Elliott, being able to get all the way back up to the 8th position with as many problems as his car had early on in this race. He's really pulled his stuff back together. He's not letting the season-ending slump get to him. He's really trying his best. Meanwhile, Kulwicki continues to be really slow. Irvan out in front. He's out in front by 5 seconds now over Earnhardt and Terry Labonte, who are still battling fiercely for the 2nd position. Right now, I think that what's going on here is more important. 63 points is the real-time gap between Elliott and Kulwicki. The real question is, now here's the thing about Kulwicki and Elliott for that matter. They are both on the same strategy. Both Kulwicki and Elliott are both on the same strategy. So if Kulwicki can't make it, Elliott can't make it. Elliott can't make it, Kulwicki can't make it. Vice versa. So since they're playing on the same strategy, it's really not going to matter if Kulwicki can't make it or not. Because Kulwicki can't, Elliott can't. Oh, will come up. If they were to run out, this is the lap they're going to run out on. Oh, not this lap, next lap. They'll be on lap 81. And that would be their next scheduled stop if they were pitting on the 27s. Lap 81 will be their next scheduled stop. I'm sure Elliott's like crossing his fingers. Come on, get around him! Wallace, Allison, Waltrip, Allison, get around him! I did it again! Oh boy. Yeah, Elliott's pretty much begging. Come on, get around the 7. Get around the 7. We'll see if Kulwicki's able to stay out. Looks like he will. He's got to make it 2 more laps. Elliott's also able to stay out. It's a long way to the finish for Kulwicki and Elliott, no doubt about it. Meanwhile, oh, there they come down pit road. The 7, the 17, and the 9, they're all coming down. The 3 is hitting pit road. The 27's already been. Here's Terry Labonte. Now going up towards the front. Oh, I thought they were going to wreck there. Michael Waltrip, Harry Gant, they're getting really close. White flag is out for Ernie Irvan. He's got a 5-second advantage on Terry Labonte. 14 seconds back to Davey Allison. He has run an impeccable race today. Ernie Irvan coming out of turn 4. He will sweep the Charlotte races this year. Ernie Irvan wins the Mello Yello 500. So now we're going to have to see where Alan and Elliott came out of pit road. Because they both had to come to pit road with just 3 laps left in this race. So it'll be interesting to see where everyone is officially scored. So Ron Moroso is going to come home in 11th. So where are they going to be officially scored? Alan Kulwicki is going to be officially scored in 22nd position, 1 lap down. Bill Elliott will be scored in 25th position, 1 lap down. So that will be a gain of 14 points by Alan Kulwicki. So he should be ahead now by 59. Indeed, that's what it is. So Alan Kulwicki now ahead in the points by 59. Ernie Irvan picking up his 3rd win of the season, moves into 3rd in points. This team is third in points. I cannot believe that. What an unbelievable way to come onto the scene. So Ernie Irvan with his third win of the year. He's only the third driver to actually do that. So he's going to move up to third in points. Bodine fourth, Richmond fifth. Mark Martin, he moves up a position as Rudd falls down a position. Terry Labonte is also... No, Terry Labonte's right where he always has been. Earnhardt's dropped a few positions. No, Earnhardt hasn't dropped a few positions. Has he? No, he's always been in 10th. I thought he was in 7th, but he's always been in 10th. Never mind then. Anyways, that is going to conclude this race in particular. The next time that the throwbacks are aired, we are going to go to the North Carolina Speedway. We'll see you then.